The defending champions of the International 2018. No one would have had that last year. They came from absolutely nowhere, from the open qualifiers no less, to become the first ever team to do so as champions. They return this year with what seems like a renewed version of the same spirit that took them to the ages 12 months ago. Can they be the first team ever to repeat? Can they be the first team to win twice? Can these players be the first to win 2 ages? All of these questions are still to be answered over the next 5 days. And it starts right now in the upper bracket quarterfinals as they face off against Newbee. Gents, it is kind of a rematch. The majority of the players on the Newbee side obviously played in exactly this spot last year. Could it be any different, Brian?
I just think OG's got the magic. I don't know. I watched them throughout the entire group stage, and we've talked about teams just doing their own thing, establishing their own meta. Yep. And OG's pick carry wisp. They're just doing all types of random strategies where, as casters during the group stage, we were trying to figure out ourselves, what are they going to do? And then you just watch it all fall right into place, and it's honestly beautiful to watch. But I think Newbee's got a great chance in order to upset them. I think they're one of the best teams coming into the group stage, or coming out of the group stage that isn't the top seeds.
Have they got the form? Have they got the players to repeat this year?
I think so. We talked about how creative their drafts were, but they executed it to near perfection. That was the thing for me that surprised me, is you have to know exactly the timings that line up. They had heroes that hit the core items all at the exact same time every game. And to know how to do that with a strategy of what we seem to be random heroes that don't normally get picked together, right?
From our point of view, even I've heard all of the smart analysts that we have in this group of talent team, and they're all a little bit like, I'm not really sure what they're doing.
When nobody understands them, I think that's when they're peak form, because if they as long as they understand themselves, which they clearly do.
There's some odd, I pour over the stats as you well know, and there's some odd stats in amongst this. They're the lowest, they're the 18th ranked team for average last hits per game. What? How?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
That's a team that just wants to be able to fight. You know, to kind of contradict Brian just a little bit, it's just the fact that, you know, I feel the same way that he feels about OG, I felt that way about Liquid, you know? And the old, they won TI, I thought that was going to be our repeat, you know, because it just seemed like they had this sort of magic. I mean, the stories about, Kuro winning that TI, getting into the bus with the rest of his team and saying, hey, let's talk about the plan for next year.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of drive, I thought that was what it was going to take to be able to win a TI. And so for me, looking at OG, I see all these magical things, but there's this doubt in my head that says, I don't know, just like Seb is saying, you know, that drive, once you win a TI, it goes away a little bit. No matter how bad you think you want a number 2.
just wants to win a minor. He's not worried. That's what his goals are this season, and he's failed.
Yep, they played plenty of those minors this season. They really did. I mean, they struggled at the beginning, right, when they were using ILTW, and then guess what? The king of being uncalibrated comes back.
The comeback king. Yep, literally the comeback king every time, because he's done it every season, it feels like. What do Newbee have to do in this game, Brian, if they're going to take out OG?
I think Newbee is really good at what they know. Last year we saw the same thing, kind of out of VGJ Storm. They had these set amount of strategies where they executed them very well, and I feel like if they're able to get those core set of heroes, I really like Quinn. I think Quinn's one of the most improved players I've watched all throughout the year, and his ability last year, I think, was his limiting factor, was his ability to lane mid, and I haven't seen him lose mid in a long time. Maybe he doesn't always win, because he doesn't have the most favorable matchup.
But he doesn't get sacked, does he?
Yeah, and I think this is an incredible skilled matchup between Thompson and CCNC, and I think if he can create momentum for his team, I think Newbee can take it. I think they know how to execute cleanly.
I mean, likewise, Cap, in a way, they kind of mirror each other a little bit in that respect. I know Yua's been playing absolutely fantastically. He topped some of the stats from the group stage, obviously, and playing really well. You can argue some of that's hero-based as well, but he's playing really well. CNC is fantastic as well, although he still needs to add an S to the start of his name to fit in with the whole newbie thing, because otherwise it's just weird. I don't know why he didn't do that, by the way, just for this event. It would have been fun. But Anna and Thompson, same thing on the other side. It's very focused for OG. You can look into everything they've done so far, and you can see that they're still the main boys. They're playing around them.
For me, the backbone of OG is just stronger, though. In the fact that I've seen Thompson lose lanes really hard and be able to make the comeback. I'm not sure if CCNC has that same kind of spirit.
OG are your two-time TI champions. They've done it, folks. And in what a fashion. These last 3 games didn't even seem close. Liquid, they had something going for themselves, but then they hit the brick wall. OG is the best team in the world. They're on a completely different level.
No question. They are so far ahead of anybody else that plays this game for a living. Game 2, 3, and 4 were absolutely ridiculous. The showing was magical from OG.
They just seem to know exactly what to do with whatever draft they're giving. It doesn't matter. They have so many different drafts, so many different play styles. They can execute all of them. Liquid seemed like they stood no chance after that first game.
And they've earned their money. $15 million, just over it, in fact, going the way of OG for this victory, on top of the $11 million they won last year.
Unbelievable performance by them, and in such a style. Busting out the carry IO in the final game, having a Timbersaw that they haven't played too much at all either. These guys can play anything.
They absolutely can. Innovators, magicians, bringing something new to the game, and when it counts the most in the grand finals. Game 1 was shaky, we had a bit of fun. Game 2, 3, and 4, they played their hearts out for every single minute of the matches. OG, the best team of all time, and with this, their second TI win. And not just the second TI win, but the second back-to-back. They do it 2 years in a row. There is no question that we're witnessing the best team of all time.
I'm at a loss of words from the way that they played this. It was just an absolute beatdown. They're just way too good at Dota.
And this sort of accomplishment, the first team to do it, 2 times back-to-back. The thing that so many TI winners in the past have dreamt of. Winning 1 TI, of course, is fabulous, but to do 2, that was always the goal for all of our previous champions. And here, in 2019, the International 2019, OG are the ones to do it first. The 2-time TI champions, OG, ladies and gentlemen. And here we have it. The team, I believe, preparing to lift up what is rightfully theirs for the second time in a row. There he is, Seb himself, leading the crew up to the podium. You cannot help but be awestruck by what this team has shown us in this entire run in these 2 years, and now in the grand finals. Ladies and